Perfect. Okay. Um, Tonight's about comfort zones, which some of y'all sometimes whenever I remember when I got started and when somebody would be leading like a mindset call or like a comfort zone call, I kind of wanted to like tune out, peace out, like love you. You're not teaching me a skill to grow my business, so I don't really want to hear it. Like that's kind of how I felt. That wasn't my own pride. But here, I'm excited about this because every single thing, if you've ever heard the quote, like everything that you want is you're going to be able to get it once you get out of your comfort zone or something like that. It's so true, y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm going to break it down tonight. And so is Jordan Gibson. I am a diamond and a senior ruby. She is an emerald. I am telling you the stuff that we are going to show you tonight is the stuff that we actually did to get where we are. And so if tonight, take notes if you want to. I'm a note taker. I don't remember things if I don't take notes. So um here's what I want to tell you. Before we start, I want y'all to unmute and tell me something that used to make you uncomfortable that you're now comfortable doing. Something that like maybe scared you. It felt very out of your comfort zone. And now you're like, that's like brushing my teeth. Got that. Go ahead and unmute and tell me. Anything. Doesn't have to be in your
I
business. It could be anything.
I had never posted on my stories before.
Okay. Awesome.
Talk, talking in my stories.
Talking in stories. Okay. And if you're not talking, if you would unmute, that would be awesome.
I've never done a live. I need a reach out message.
Reach out messages. Perfect. What about like anybody here feel like you're like a childbirth pro? You've done it a few times and you're like, "Ah, I can do that. That's comfortable. I got that. I could teach somebody how to do this. If somebody went into labor at convention, I could probably deliver their kid because I've done it so many times. Anybody feel that? Or what about driving? Anybody here like, okay, well, driving felt very uncomfortable that first week or two or month or year. And now 10-hour trip, I don't even think twice. I'm just like, give me the plan, give me the GPS. I'm gone. Okay. Y'all, there's going to be so many things, plexus and non-plexus, that are going to require you to learn new skills. They're going to require you to get better at it. So here's the thing. Did it get easier? Did childbirth get easier? No. Did sending the reach out message or going live, did it get easier? Did the steps get smaller? No. What happened? What happened inside of this? You got reps. You gained skills. You survived being bad at it. You figured it out and you did it again, and it was easier the next time. You learned you could handle it. Your capacity increased. And the goal here with expanding your comfort zone isn't to make things easier, it's to become someone who can handle it. And that's what we want to teach y'all tonight. So if you want to go to the next slide, I want to talk just for a second about this one because I learned about this. Oh, video. Okay. Okay. Automation or whatever just happened there. A little fun thing. I've torn my ACL 3 times. Fun fact about me. It's not very fun actually, but my knee desperately needed I needed physical therapy. Every time I would do any athletic activity, it would come out of socket. And so my familiar zone was to just figure it out, right? Like, okay, I was like, well, I just won't work out. I'll just walk. Okay. And my familiar zone, so I started changing my life and what I did around this one thing that was very annoying, but I wasn't willing to go to physical therapy to go get it taken care of. Or I wasn't even willing to admit the possibility of maybe I need surgery, right? Like I wasn't willing to change. I was just staying in it, even though I hated it. I hated every second. But it was familiar at the time, and I didn't have to go try a new doctor. I didn't have to go make the appointments. I didn't have to spend the time figuring it out. But you guys, just because it was familiar doesn't mean it was what I wanted. And it definitely wasn't the future I wanted. I wanted to be playing with my kids, but I couldn't because my knee hurt so bad. That is a familiar zone. Familiar zone is what you know and what you're used to, even if you don't like it. Comfort zone, on the other hand, is it doesn't necessarily mean everything is easy. It means you know you can handle it, but there's little emotional risk. Okay, so an example of comfort zone was when I started this. I'm admitting a lot of things to y'all. Do as I do now, not as I did. I hated long videos. If I saw that the training video was longer than like 7 minutes, I was like, oh, not doing that. I'm out. Peace. But because that was my comfort zone, right? A 7-minute video didn't require me to take notes. A 15, a 7-minute video didn't require me to take notes. It didn't require me to be like, oh, I really suck at that. Like I didn't have to do like self-evaluation. I didn't have to like do all the things. Yeah, I could just like skim it, do it, done. Okay, go do it. Bye. Like no feeling. But the longer ones challenged me. They made me sit down and take notes. I had to learn, I had to grow, I had to evaluate myself. And so that's an example of a comfort zone. Okay. Short videos, I'll do it, check box. But the longer ones stretched me. And so, y'all, I'm not here to help you stay in your comfort zone. In fact, if you are comfortable right now, we have a problem. And I want to help you get very uncomfortable because all of your goals, the Disney trip, the income you want, the dreams you want, the fun you want to have, it's all outside of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is going to protect you from discomfort, which discomfort is fine, you guys. We want to not be comfortable all the time. Your familiar zone is going to protect you from the unknown, which the unknown is what you want, right? You've never hit diamond before. That is unknown. That is something you would like to do, right? Okay, well, then let's stop protecting ourselves from the thing that we want to do. Growth requires us to step outside of both of those things. And if you want to grow, you're going to need courage. And Jordan and I are going to talk about courage tonight. So, Jordan, you want to take the next one? You're very pretty.
It's like it takes me a while to my thing doesn't pop up on the top. Sorry. Yes, we're talking about courage because just like Jordan was talking about, I love this line. Courage is the bridge between where you are and where you're called to be. Using your gifts, using your passions. Sometimes we don't even fully step into those because we're not courageous enough. We know the steps, y'all, to get where we want to go, right? The same thing that got you silver is what's going to get you diamond, plus a couple leadership things, but it's like the same thing, right? And we're just not taking the courage to get there. So like look at this and look at what like are you more in the familiar column or you're more in the courageous column? Because I can tell you one thing I really think about when thinking of like familiarity and is that a word? Familiarity. I have an English degree, I promise. Don't use it anymore, it's fine. And being courageous, literally, it was part of what I was going to talk about being familiar to me was teaching and coaching, was waking up and going to work every day and doing something I loved. That was very familiar. So when I felt the Lord call me to stay home and like, hey, there's this thing that you could do that could make money from home, I didn't want to do it because it was not familiar to me, right? Like making money from social media was scary. So I had to literally pray a lot and be courageous enough to say like, okay, this is going to take me where I want to go, where I'm called to go. It's going to allow me to do that. And so you probably have a story you're thinking of right now. Please share with us if you can think of one of what was familiar to you and how you were courageous enough to like step out. It has to, can be something not about this business, but we would love to hear from y'all if y'all have something like this. That's okay. I'm in this column. This is what it took for me to go to the next column. And if not, we will move on. We want to hear from y'all. Stacy.
For me, right away, what popped into my mind was talking about my faith or like sharing that with someone, a stranger would have been like super uncomfortable. And I think from just like getting outside of my comfort zone, I've been able to do that with a lot more boldness.
Yeah. Because you just decided to, right? Like it was literally something that you decided to do. I love that. I love that so much. All right, Joe.
Well, I was just going to say, I operated out of my familiar zone for a while in my business because I came in with a solid set of skills just from my sales background. So I was like, I got this, like fully out of pride.
Yeah.
And I realized that I was trying to control everything. I was like, I was only doing what was comfortable because I was trying to control people saw me. And so even in my messaging, I was only messaging people I knew, right? Or with my goals, if I couldn't hit it, I was not setting a goal that I could not hit because I didn't want to feel failure, right? And so there were so many of these. And finally, I had to kind of let go and I just had to focus in on the work. So courage for me was letting go of this result that I was like, just like really obsessing over. And I had to set the goal. I had to obsess over the work. And then I had to like track the goal, but just know that I wasn't in control of the goal. So the control for me was very unfamiliar. Courage for me was letting go of control and just controlling what I could control and leaving the rest to Jesus. Like that was very hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. It's all you.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to tell y'all who here would like to get more uncomfortable? Two hands? Everybody? Yeah. Okay. I want to help you get more uncomfortable because that is where you're going to hit the things you want to hit. You're going to bring on the people that you want to bring on. More people are going to trust you. You're going to trust yourself more. And so I want to talk about this. My daughter left my door open, so if y'all hear people, it's fine. It just is what it is. Okay, so there's 5 things I want to touch on, and then we're going to talk about this at the end. So the first thing is I was actually talking with my husband, and I was like, Zach, the first thing I really want to talk about is to know your values. And he goes, oh yeah, because if you don't know who you are, then you're going to listen to everybody else. I'm like, you just like stole my whole slide. And he was like, well, it's true. I was like, okay. So Zach agrees. Here's the thing, knowing who you are and what you value. When you don't know this, I love this quote. If you do not know what you value, your feelings and other people's opinions will be the loudest in the room. I'm going to say that one more time. If you don't know what you value, your feelings and your other people's opinions will be the loudest in the room. You guys, you are not the first person to have somebody on social media say, what in the heck are you doing? Why are you doing that? You are not the first person in the world to wake up not motivated or to get a no. You're not the first. Stop creating drama in your head that you're the first person to have your mama tell you no. You're not.
Yeah.
Okay? Anybody else here had their mom tell them no? Anybody ever here send a message to a family member and they told you no? You can just put a me in the chat if you want so everybody can just know they're not alone. Here's the thing, but I know my values. So I'm going to have y'all do this with me really quick. And then I'm going to tell you how to apply this. So I want y'all to look at this list really quick. Some of y'all maybe did it before, but you're going to find about 2 to 3 that you're like, oh, you feel this like overwhelming joy and like, yes, that is it when you read it. And here, I'm going to tell you mine, and then you can do this later. You can do it with your sponsor, whatever, but mine are optimism, adventure, and freedom. And let me just tell you how this looks for me. Okay. So for me, freedom to me looked a lot in this business was so many things. It was freedom to not look like other girls. It was the freedom to show up on a Zoom and not have to wear earrings and a dress. It was the freedom to choose my schedule, knowing that I'm going to be so disciplined with my time, but I get to choose when I work. And that is freedom to me. Freedom to go on vacation. The adventure part of this, I had no idea how much adventure fueled my soul, but it does so much. I love venturing with my kids. I love venturing with my husband. I love adventure. And the other one was optimism. And this, the reason I didn't put faith on here was actually because optimism to me, the core of that was faith for me. I can have this ultimate like level of optimism in every situation because my faith tells me I can. And so here's what I want you to do is find the ones that really speak to you. And here's how this works. Okay. You're going to let your core values be in the driver's seat of your day, not your fears, not others' opinions. Okay. Let your core values drive your day, drive your work, drive your mindset, not your fears, not others' opinions. Because when your core values are the loudest ones in the room, when you are in the mood of like, I don't feel like sending a message today. I feel stupid posting today. What if I fail today? Okay, but like let's flip it. What do you value? Because if you value freedom, then avoiding something because it's uncomfortable while saying I want freedom doesn't even make sense. If you value impact, you have to be willing to be seen to have an impact. So get moving, get open, turn your open sign on your business. If you value family, working your business rather than like, okay, maybe working my business when I'd rather be scrolling or just doing the thing that creates choices and a future for my family is actually what I need to choose and more in line with my core values than sitting there scrolling on your phone. If you value service, you can't let your fear of bothering someone keep you from offering something that can genuinely help them. Y'all, there's just so many ways of like saying, I don't feel like doing this. Okay, but my core value is this, and that's going to be in the driver's seat today. What do I need to do to be in line with my core value today? Okay. And so for some of y'all, it's connection. For some, anybody want to tell me what yours is? I would love to know. Does anybody want to tell me what one of yours is? Yeah, Christina.
Making a difference. Talked like just spoke out to me.
Yeah.
I've been a nurse for 21 years and I know I make a difference, but I just
Mhm.
feel stuck.
I love that. Okay. So like even just asking yourself today, how can I make a difference today? Like that to me is so motivating. Like that would get me off my butt, even when I didn't feel like it. You know, who else had one? Was it Kristen? Did you unmute? No? Okay. Somebody else did. Somebody unmute and tell me yours. I can't see the chat. I'm being very bougie right now.
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Okay. So instead of you sitting there saying like, oh, I don't feel like working today, like how do you get in a spot of authenticity of like, you know what? I'm gonna do it because I'm a hard worker, even though I don't feel like it. And I'm gonna make a post today about all the things going on around me and how I'm getting it done anyway, and you can too. You know what I mean? And so I just, y'all, there's when you get into a spot where you're like, I don't have courage today, ask yourself, what are my core values and how do I get into those today? And it's going to help you. Okay. Make all of this louder than the fear that you could be having of others' opinions. And then watch how you feel more courageous during your work time. Okay. It is, I promise you, there's not a day that goes by where I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like working. Oh, adventure. Oh, Hawaii. Oh, okay, let's go. You know what I mean? It just is. Okay, number two, first way to get into a more courageous spot is that. The second one, you're gonna have to stick with me on this one. Okay, this one's a little bit mushier. The next one is way more like my productivity girls. You're gonna like the next one a lot more. So just stay with me on this one. Okay, vulnerability. Vulnerability does not mean you are sitting there crying on your Instagram. That's not what vulnerability means. Vulnerability is the experience of uncertainty, risk, or emotional exposure, meaning like someone's gonna actually like see me. They're gonna know me. And it shows up anytime you do something where you cannot control how it will be received or how it will turn out. Is anybody sitting there thinking like that hits? Anybody like sitting here thinking like, oh, I felt that. I have felt that before. Um, Here's the thing. It's allowing yourself to be seen, trying, asking, leading, or hoping for something when you cannot guarantee the outcome. You have to get vulnerable enough to go on a journey people don't understand. Anybody here had somebody not understand what you're doing? You are not alone. You have to go on, you have to be willing to go on a journey people might understand. You have to be willing to mess up. You have to look new and you have to be seen as not perfect. Courage isn't getting rid of vulnerability. It is definitely not stopping caring what people think. It is just flipping it and saying, I care what people think and I'm willing to be seen anyway. Okay. So what are you avoiding? And what are you actually afraid will happen if you do it? And what I love about this is it was just talking about how you can name it and then you just do it anyway. So, for example, maybe messaging makes you really uncomfortable. Okay, well, why does it make you uncomfortable? Well, they might say no. Okay, why does that? Like, why is that scary? Well, they might think I'm annoying. Okay, well, I care deeply what other people think about me, right? That might be one of your core values. Okay, so let's name that fear and let's figure out a way to do it in a way that feels really good to you. Maybe you need to be more you in your messages. Maybe you need to call people. Maybe you send voice messages. Maybe you need to stop looking at all these copy paste stuff and just speak from your heart. I don't know what it is, but you have to be able to name it and you have to do it anyway. So get vulnerable enough, you guys, to be a little exposed and do it anyway. I look at my journey over the last almost 10 years, and I honestly cannot imagine if I would have stopped the first time I felt this feeling. None of you would be here, not one of you. And so I'm very thankful that I felt this and I did it anyway. Okay. All right. The next one is trust yourself. This is an interesting one, y'all. Do y'all who here thinks does anybody here like right now, do you think you trust yourself to like all the way? You're like, I believe in me. Like I know I'm gonna show up. I know I got this. Shelby says, nope. Okay, well, you might after this. Okay. Here's the thing, y'all. This is what I love about this. You can't control other people. You can't control whether they quit. You can't control whether your post gets 85,000 comments. You can't control all the time, like where, if you're going to hit your goal or not, but you can build trust in you that you're going to get the job done, that you're going to keep showing up. You're going to figure it out. You're going to ask for help. Okay. You're going to adjust when something isn't working. You're going to be a lifelong learner. You have got to stop breaking promises to yourself. If you told yourself you're going to go work out, go get it done. I don't care. I don't care what time it is. Go get it done. If you told yourself you were going to send 10 messages, go send 10 messages. If you told yourself that you were going for Club 100 this month, which is the club that we do, then go for it. Stop saying you're going to do it and not doing it. That is how you lose trust in yourself. And if you want to have courage, you actually have to believe that yourself are actually going to do the stuff. Here's trust is built through evidence, not affirmations. I think affirmations are great, but you are not going to build trust in yourself by telling yourself that you're awesome. You're going to build trust in yourself because you keep doing what you said you were going to do. And that's also how other people are going to gain trust in you. How do you expect somebody else to trust you if you can't even trust you? Okay. So that is step one. Confidence is saying, I think I can. Believing you'll show up says, I'll figure it out. So trusting yourself says, I'm going to figure it out. Be confident and trust yourself to actually execute. You need to prove to yourself that you won't abandon yourself when things get hard. And that's how you feel proud of yourself. Y'all, there are only 12 ranks in our company. Only 12. And I'm not saying this to like pat myself on the back, but like I am proud of myself. I show up for my girls. And it's not because I'm getting the glowy excitedness of hitting my own rank every month. But I can be proud of myself because I'm doing this. I trust myself to do this, even when I don't feel like it. And because of that, I'm living more into my core values. Do y'all see how this all comes around? Okay. So you got to do what you said you were going to do. That is why you need accountability. That's why you need to drop the work you did in your chat. That is why you need to talk to your sponsor and send them what you did every day. That is why you need to send your team what you did that day. That's why you need an IPA sheet that you can fill out because you need accountability because we are human. Okay. All right. So stop playing small. Go do what you said you were going to do and stop moving at it in this way that feels comfortable and move at it in a way that is courageous. All right. Anybody have questions on that? Or like anybody feel like you need to like walk up to the front of the church and admit something? Then we can move on. Okay, that's me. Okay. Seriously, if you need to unmute, go for it. I told y'all I want this to be an unmute night, but I seem to be talking an awful lot. Okay. So the next one is failure tolerance. And here's y'all, Brene Brown is a wonderful author on shame, and she talks a lot about trust and vulnerability and things. We actually added a fifth one that we felt was really important. So there's this one and one more. Failure tolerance. Do you get back up after failure or disappointment? How and how fast? I'm going to ask y'all this really, really quickly before we do this one. When you fail, what's your when something feels real hard or you feel like you just sucked it up, you had the hardest day, what is your recipe to like get back up? I'm going to share mine, and I would love for like one or two people to share theirs. One, there is nothing a really solid, good workout can't solve for me. Like if I can go sweat and throw a heavy ball on the ground a few 20, 30, 40 times, yeah, I feel way better about myself. The other thing I do is I go to my power partners and I say, hey, y'all, this sucks. Tell me I can keep going. And they say, suck it up, buttercup. Go figure it out. Like, you got this. The sky's not falling. I'm like, okay, great. So my power partners for me and a good heavy ball. That's my recipe. Who else?
I think it's funny that you talked about how working out was like your, sorry, I can't find the words, but like your way to like get through something. I
Yeah.
feel like when I feel failure, it's at like the end of a hard workout. Like it's one of those like, man, I feel defeated, but but it's like this bittersweet strong. I don't have the right articulation tonight, but just like I like give myself a moment to breathe, to say, yeah, I did that. It wasn't perfect. What can we do next? I still showed up,
Mhm.
right? So I don't know, I'm going through this big like growth season, right? Where I feel like if you cannot spin a negative into a positive, then you're not moving. So that's how I've been
Mm,
able to like work through a lot of my failures is just, you know, like what's the best that could happen? Like instead of thinking the worst.
I love that. Are you a perfectionist, Mariah?
Yeah. 1000%.
Okay. Love that for you.
That's like in the book, The Gap and the Gain. Like you got to focus on the gap for just like 5 minutes and then go
Yes.
to your gain.
So
Yeah.
good.
What
I
did
was
I
thinking,
learn? Yeah.
well, I was thinking about with failure tolerance, just like perfectionism or your definition of success, like in bouncing back from failure, sometimes you have to redefine what that's going to look like, right? Like sometimes it's like, okay, that has happened time and time again. Let's zoom out and redefine like what does success look like for me? And that is bouncing back from failure, right? That's moving forward.
Mm, yes. I love that. Y'all, the goal isn't to become a woman who gets it all right all the time. I have hosted Zooms, no one came. I have had months where my points went down. I have had months where I missed a goal. I have scheduled a call and no one showed up. I have driven to somebody's house when I lived in Arkansas all the way to Tennessee, and they had one person show up to their sip and see, and it happened to be the person that I invited. Okay. There is absolutely nothing that you can fail at in this business that I haven't gone first in.
Mm.
I love you. It's going to happen. It is fine. You're allowed to be disappointed. You're allowed to need a minute and you're allowed to feel frustrated. But the goal is not to become someone who never gets it wrong or never fails. It's just to become somebody who bounces back and who doesn't stay in that long enough to let it dictate the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. So
This
stop making failure mean something about who I am and what I am capable of, and start asking, what is it teaching me and how do I bounce back quicker?
so good.
That's what I got on that one, Jordan.
I love it. I just thought for a second about I know some girls on here are working for silver and have been
Yeah.
working for like maybe several weeks. And it's like silver should be so simple, so easy. It's the first three, like it's the first rank. Y'all, sometimes it's not, and that's okay. Quit comparing yourself to other people. Keep doing the things, get courageous, and keep going. Because sometimes silver is the hardest. That just made me that just made like you haven't failed yet. You have not even barely started. Like that, like
Yeah.
starting your business sometimes is the hardest, like silver sometimes can be the hardest. So keep going. You're still here. You're rocking it.
Can I say something on that really fast?
Yeah.
Actually, I watched something on from John Maxwell today, and he said sometimes failure towards the beginning, like those first ranks, silver, senior silver, gold, sometimes that failure actually feels harder than it does later on because you don't have all the like hundreds of wins stacked up to like remind yourself that this is possible for you. And he said, so sometimes those hard things in the beginning actually feel way harder than they do later on. And so just know that that comfort zone expands. It gets easier. You just got to get over that hump, and then it's going to be okay. Yeah.
So good. Okay, so we have talked about all these things. And Jordan, like she said in the beginning, we're adding a little part to a fifth one, the end of this. And it's what a Proverbs 31 woman looks like. I'm sure y'all have heard so many things on the Proverbs 31 woman. And good, we're going to remind you. And if you don't have faith, you can still get something out of this because I got the good book here. And we were thinking about, okay, how do we become courageous with core values and all the things? Is sometimes just not allowing the Lord as like in your faith as like a cop out, if that makes sense. Like the Lord's going to take care of it. The Lord's going to do this for me. Yes, sister, but we still got to pick up the shovel and work, right? And I want to show you what the Proverbs 31 woman looks like and what my version, this is actually what is this? ESV, something like that. Starting in verse 13, she looks for wool and flax and works with her hands. Then it goes on. She rises also while it is still night. Who else is like a night owl right now, working till midnight? Because that's totally me. I hate it, but that is what's working in the season of my life right now. She considers a field and buys it. From her earnings, she plants a vineyard. So she's looking for something, she buys it, and then she goes and sows and does the things, right? Y'all, all of these are verbs that is starting out these verses. Okay, she is doing things. It never says in Proverbs 31, the whole chapter, that she sits and waits patiently for the Lord and she allows the Lord to just drop things in her lap. Okay, does not say that. This woman that the Lord is trying to help us go after and be like, besides himself, she is getting into action and doing things. And we're not even talking about like money mindset and all the things right now, but to get what she wants and to serve her family and to serve in her purpose, she's doing things. Okay. And we know what that looks like. Okay. That's why this is not a call on go do these things, because we know what to do. We have to be courageous enough to step out into them. And so that's what we mean when go work and go serve in this business as a Proverbs 31 woman. You got anything on that, Joe?
No, I think it's so good. And that's why we didn't want to just say go, like give you a time amount to go work or whatever. Like
Yeah.
go be her, So that's what I love about that. Okay, we're going to end this with this. All right, you guys. And then if y'all have questions or anything you want to ask at the end, please do. But if you had to rate yourself 1 to 10 right now, how courageous would you say you are in your work right now? Going back to those slides, looking at like, are you setting goals with what you want, not what you think you can hit? Are you posting with possibility and visibility and telling stories and being courageous with how you feel and your story? And are you starting new conversations boldly, authentically, not thinking about what if I fail? Are you doing the needle moving work, or are you just staying busy in what's comfortable? And the key here is if your numbers aren't moving, then you're probably doing busy work or you are not being courageous in the work. Okay. Are you asking your customers? I asked one of my customers today, I said, hey, I know you're loving your products. Did you want to share? I would love to help you get your products paid for. And she said, yeah, I would love that. Like, are you asking them if they want it, or are you just assuming they don't? So yeah, I love y'all. We're doing this assessment because awareness is everything. And that is why we wanted to end this with, you need to go work with courage.
Yeah.
Courage that it's possible, trusting yourself. And so for this business building block, you guys, this is a way for you to earn an extra $150 this month, which for us is like 3 tanks of gas. That's pretty awesome. It's also going to help you get 150 credits towards your Disney trip. And I guarantee you, come December 31st, when this contest ends and you are this close to earning tier 3, you're going to kick yourself in the butt for not adding 3 and having a 1 upgrade this month. And if you don't know what this means, ask your sponsor right now. Text them right now and she'll tell you. Okay. So for the next 14 days, you have tonight. I counted today. You know why? Because it's only 9:00 Central Time. And we got time. So I counted today for the next 14 days. I will, Hannah. I got you. For the next 14 days, we're going to do something courageous every single day. We're going to operate out of courage every single day. And at the end of the day, in my chat, for sure, I'm going to be like, who operated out of courage and what did it look like today? And we're going to talk about it in our chat because I want to help y'all move out of courage. I want y'all to pull that IPA sheet out. I want you to write down your core values at the top, and then I want you to get to work. I'm working because adventure. I'm working because of this. I'm working because I want to be the Proverbs 31 woman. I want to trust myself. I want to do all these things. Okay. So show up anyway. Don't break promises to yourself. Don't let fear be in the driver's seat. Operate out of your values. Fail a lot over the next 14 days. I dare you. I dare you to fail a lot and be her. And I want to watch what that does for your confidence and for your points and for your paychecks this month. Because I guarantee you, if you do this, it's going to grow all 3. Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions? We can go back over that building block really fast if anybody else wants to know more about what that is. Does anybody else have? Is it just Hannah? Okay. Well, y'all can get off if you want to. I'm going to explain this building block really quick.